it's time to tick off another song meaning off our list. And up next, we have one of my favorites, My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys. A song that is very beautifully written, full of metaphors, and just the atmosphere, like the whole production of the song is just amazing. This whole song is actually just a metaphor for Taylor's relationship coming to an end. She compares herself to one of her love interest's many toys. So starting off, she sings, "Oh, here we go again. The voices in his head called the rain to end our days of wild." Now, if you recall in our previous video where we talked about the song meaning of the Tortured Poets department, we talked about how her love interest, Matty Healy, basically self-sabotaged a lot. He would look for problems where there weren't any. He would wake up with dread, and essentially this is kind of continuing on that start of the end. She's saying, "Oh, here we go again." So this has happened multiple times where there's voices in his head telling him that this relationship isn't right or that it's not working. She's really referring to his self-sabotage. And these voices have now decided to call off their fun. They call in the rain, basically ruining their wild, their fun times, their sunshine is gone. These lyrics deliver a very similar messaging than what she did in Renegade, where she's saying, "Is it really your anxiety that stops you from giving me everything, or do you just not want to?" The song continues, "The sickest army doll purchased at the mall, rivulets descend my plastic smile." So here Taylor is comparing herself to a doll, but not just any regular doll, an army doll, somebody that has really been through it, and to the point where she's been taken ill. I'm not sure if when she says purchased at the mall, she's referring that she feels common, or if she's kind of saying like you had all these choice of people that you could go to and you went and you picked me even though I was a sick army doll. Which could also be a metaphor for her describing the type of relationship she feels like she can offer people. That, back to the song Peace, like she never feels like she can give people peace because she's so in the public eye. So rivulets are a small stream of water or another liquid. So here they play the role of describing her tears. On her plastic smile, because she's a doll, in which she's almost forced to have this fake appearance, plastic, basically delivering that same message that we hear in I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. So aside from all her efforts to put on her best show, that she is happy, the end of the relationship has taken a toll on her and it has caused her to cry. Then she sings, "But you should have seen him when he first got me." So here she's saying, "Oh, but don't focus on the pain he inflicted on me. You should have seen him when I was a bright, shiny new toy for him." Like a child when you get a new toy and you're super excited, you can't put it down. She's comparing the start of their relationship to that emotion. So when he first got her, when they first got together, he must have been treating her like a queen and just acting beyond the moon, super excited to be with her. And then we get to the chorus, "My boy only breaks his favorite toys. I'm queen of sandcastles he destroys." So first of all, Taylor here is infantilizing her lover by calling him a child, just a boy. She describes in his behavior that he only breaks his favorite toys, which is something children often do because they don't understand truly how to use the toys. So maybe they smash them around and they're overusing them in a more intense way. And so therefore she's one of his favorites because he has left her broken and in tears. Then she describes herself as queen, almost putting herself as a more mature person in the relationship, but she's the queen of the sandcastles that he destroys. And a crumbling kingdom is not worth much. So even though he made her into his queen, he's basically destroying all the castles around. You could also draw some parallels from these lyrics to King of My Heart. The song continues, "'Cause it fit too right, puzzle pieces in the dead of night. I should have known it was a matter of time. My boy only breaks his favorite toys." So the big thing here is essentially this metaphor, "'cause it fit too right, I should have known." Basically saying it was too good to be true, that she should have known that eventually it was going to come crashing down. The puzzle pieces were also one of those Easter eggs that she hid in that Spotify display that she did. She continues, "There was a lanity of reasons why we could have played for keeps this time. I know I'm just repeating myself." Alanity is essentially a tedious recital, so of repetition. And I saw that one of those terms also had a mild religious connotation. So essentially, she keeps giving the same reasons over and over again on why this relationship is now gonna work, and she's doing that almost religiously. This suggests that Taylor and her love interest had given this relationship a try before, but she's saying that this time around it's really gonna stick. So when she says, "I'm just repeating myself," she's actually going into the second part of this verse where she sings, "Put me back on my shelf, but first pull the string and I'll tell you that he runs because he loves me." So she's saying you can put her back into her single life or her like neutral state, maybe explain to her that that relationship was not bound to work. But if you pull the string, again, this is a metaphor for those toys that have a string that you pull and then they say something, and usually it was like one phrase over and over again, but it could have been like 2 or 3 phrases. But essentially she's saying she's repeating herself. If you pull the string, she will again give you a reason why this relationship is gonna work. She will continue to justify this man and just just say that he runs because he loves her. Cause you should have seen him when he first saw me. So again, saying that from the very beginning, he was super infatuated with her. That even just from looking at her, he was acting wild about her. And I think these emotions from early on in the relationship fooled her into thinking that that was the whole relationship. And she's really focused on that rather than seeing the big picture. The chorus repeats, but we have one line variation where she sings, cause I knew too much. There was danger in the heat of my touch. He saw forever, so he smashed it up. So her saying that she knew too much is a play on this concept of, in crime and detective films where somebody knows too much, so you have to kill them off. So here she knew too much about him. She was getting too close to him. He saw a long-term relationship. He saw forever and it freaked him out. He smashed it up. He had to get out. The idea of the happily ever after scared him away. Then we get to the bridge, which is the saddest part of the song probably, where she says, once I fix me, he's gonna miss me. So she's saying that she believes that she's the problem and that once she can fix herself back up, even though he broke her, he will want her back. Just say when, I'd play again. He was my best friend down at the Sand-A-Lot. Meaning that when he does want her back, she would be willing to put herself through it again. So she did find it all worth it, but she is re-emphasizing that he is like a child. She would play again. Because she felt a strong connection to him, like they were best friends. I felt more when we played pretend than with all the Kens because he took me out of my box. So here she has a double meaning where she's saying that she felt more when they played pretend. Now playing pretend is something children do where they play pretend, they play house, they play astronauts, they play doctors, and they just pretend to be those things. So because she's describing childlike behavior, she is making a reference to that. But she's also saying that they were playing pretend with each other, that this relationship was gonna go somewhere. But she managed to feel more with him playing pretend than she did with other serious relationships because other men or Kens didn't take her out of her box. This could be a reference to her long-term relationship with Joe Alwyn, who preferred to keep things very privately. So maybe she felt like she was trapped in this box, and then in this other relationship, she felt like she could finally show herself. So with Joe, she was this shiny new Barbie that was just kept in mint condition, but was just dreaming to get out there in the real world, even if it was gonna damage her. Essentially turning her into an ill army doll, as she describes at the beginning of the song. Stole my tortured heart, left all these broken parts, told me I'm better off, but I'm not. I'm not. So following her previous relationship, she felt her heart was very tortured, but he stole her heart. He helped her get through it, but he left her broken in return. Played with her until there was nothing but parts to be played with, and then told her that she was better off without him, which she did not agree with. It's a very beautifully written song, don't you think? And the production is just on point. I really think it's one of the best tracks on the album. Did I miss anything? Do you interpret anything from here differently? Let me know below. And as always, thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!